I've personally been arrested for cannabis 3 times myself. Thankfully, all of those things that were so difficult, actually turned out to be something that was good. What's up with y'all? New York, Brooklyn, what's up? All right. So appreciate y'all. Like you said, my name is Tahir Johnson. It's a pleasure to be out here talking to y'all today. My presentation is getting to the bag, but I think with that, it's a lot of important things. I think one of the ways that I've always thought about the way that I've moved in cannabis is that I really think of and I've been really documenting like the whole journey, because I really think that the way that I've been able to do it is a blueprint that anybody could follow to get into the game, right? When I decided that I wanted to get into cannabis in 2018, of course, I loved smoking weed, did that my whole life. Had been around it, but didn't really understand what the industry was or what the opportunity was. So first to start, kind of looking at cannabis industry sales, looking at the industry in 2022, last year, there was $26 billion in cannabis sales in the United States. African Americans own less than 2% of cannabis businesses. So, that number of ownership has actually gone down some since I was first looking at the industry. So for me, as from the outside looking in, that was one of the first things that made me want to be interested in the industry. So first of all, my name is Tahir Johnson. I'm the founder of Simply Pure Trenton. We're an adult use cannabis dispensary. I'm getting ready to open up in my hometown of Ewing, New Jersey. Ewing is is a town. We're right on the border of Trenton. Trenton is the capital of New Jersey. So Ewing's like a suburb of Trenton. One of the dopest things about getting to open a dispensary and a business there is, for one, not just being where I'm from, but I went to Howard University, repping hard today, actually, my Howard jacket, hoodie. We got any HBCU folks in the building? All right. Any HU? You knew? What up? All right. So anyway, so I left and went to Howard in 2001. When I went to college at Howard, as a matter of fact, one of my boys from Howard is in the building too somewhere. HU, Howie, my guy. So anyway, man, the whole time at Howard, weed has been something that's constantly been a part of my life, and it's such a blessing now that we have the opportunity to, have a real life business out of this, right, and real opportunities. So anyway, when I was at Howard University, I'm the only one of my brothers that got the opportunity to go away and go to college. So. I'm just getting an opportunity to come back home after 20 years, right? Everything we experienced there, from being pulled over, I've actually been pulled over 100 times, right? When people talk about those statistics of like what it's like driving while black, it's a very real thing, right? So like over this course of all this time being pulled over, I've personally been arrested for cannabis 3 times myself. Which now turned out to be one of the things with New Jersey for social equity that helped me to be able to qualify, for priority on getting a licensing. My hometown, Trenton, is also an impact zone, and they wanted to, towns that have had the highest impact of people victims of the war on drugs. Also, one of the areas that they wanted to be able to give people licenses. So thankfully, all of those things that were so difficult, actually turned out to be something that was good. But I'm sure there's many people of us know like how difficult it is every time you go to try to interview for a job, like it's something that comes up. So, but thankfully for me, I was able to still have people that wanted to give me a shot. And actually, I spent most of my professional career working in finance before cannabis, and that ended up being one of the things that helped me out a lot, because what my presentation is about, really understanding and knowing how to have conversations about getting the money, makes all the difference in the world and being able to succeed. With cannabis being federally illegal, right, there's very little access to banks, so you can't go like Bank of America, but like, I got a great business plan, let me get a loan. Like, it doesn't work like that. Or even being able to do just something as little as open a bank account to be able to do basic transactions is very difficult. So as I was looking at the industry, having my background in finance, I realized that lack of access to capital was one of the most difficult things to navigate, especially for our people. So I wanted to try to make a difference and try to help people learn the industry. So first of all, advocacy, I think, is an important part of anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur in this industry, because advocacy not only allows you to understand understanding the rules of the game, right, understanding the legislation, being actively engaged in that process, I think is one of the most important things you could do. But being able to also network, get to know and understand all those people, because cannabis, you find, is really a community. And the more people you meet and the more people you know and the better you grow it, the more access, the more it helps you to grow your business. Because now at this point, when I travel here to New York, anywhere, Jersey, like all these different places, like there's people that I've met, know, have been speaking to, doing all of this stuff. So when I was looking at the industry in 2018, I actually read about my good friend Hope Wiseman. She's the youngest black woman in the dispensary in the country to own a dispensary. So like I was reading about her, and that was the first time I made a connection that somebody like me, like a young black person, could actually own a business. So when I read about her, I think one of the important things that I wanted to do, and I think is an important opportunity that people can take now, there's so many different options for education in cannabis. One of the first things that I wanted to do when I decided I wanted to be in the industry, like taking these different courses that are out here, getting these certifications. I know there are all types of colleges here in New York. There's all types of colleges in Jersey that offer courses. I would highly recommend doing one of those because it gives you the credibility, at least the way I looked at it, the same way you approach any other industry, right? It's like, I have a certification in this, I have this knowledge in that. I think that it goes to show, for me, I just didn't want my qualification to be like, okay, I had sold weed before, I smoked weed before, but I wanted something on paper to be able to show that I had I guess some type of credential the same way you would anywhere else. And in my experience, it's something that's helped a lot. So I would recommend the education. But like I said, one of the other things that was important to me was the community. And that actually ended up, being where I built my career. So not only because were you able to network and get to know people, but I think that also with advocacy and building your community, those are also people that will be your future clients. So I think as you get ready to decide what you want to do, it's important to figure out like where in business do you want to be, because being in cannabis could mean so many different things, right? The most important thing that people have to figure out is like when you want to be in cannabis, what line of business do you want to be? Having a very clearly defined like mission, right? Like what do you want to be? Do you want to be in retail? Do you want to be a cultivator? And being in cannabis doesn't necessarily mean any of those things at all. Like it could be, and I'm really good at marketing and I want to help people build their brands. It could be like I'm good at finance. For me, having that skill in finance, help people manage their money, or accounting, or one of those types of things. And the more experience that you have in doing that, as you meet people, it makes it easy to transition because you can understand the industry from an angle that you kind of know and that you understand. And I think that helps you to transition because you're not new, right? You're not starting off from scratch. And so then when it comes to actually trying to raise money, the most important things that people have to have is you have to have a business plan, right? Like once you decided where you want to be, knowing your information, right? Like knowing your market, being able to say what is the market size, like how much cannabis is going to be sold in New York, right? How many license opportunities are there? How much money are you expecting that your dispensary or whatever line of business is going to make? And then to an investor, what's the return on investment that they can expect? So being able to clearly define that and letting people know that you know your numbers and know your information is probably the most important thing that you can do to make a difference, because there's hundreds of people out here that are saying, I want to have a dispensary, I'm going to have the best that, I'm going to have the best that. But if you can define like what's going to set you apart, I think that makes I think that makes a lot of difference. I'm interested to know how many people do we have in the audience that want to have, that want to have cannabis businesses here in New York? Clap. All right. We got somebody in the front. These two ladies. What do y'all want to do? Make edibles. All right. Oh, you got some fire. Well, I think we met before, right? Yeah, of course. All right. So, I mean, what do you want to know about? What do you want to know about the business they're trying to, get popping here in New York? Yeah. Any questions? What can I question? Anything I can answer for you? So I think what sets me apart, certainly in my market, we're going to be one of the first black-owned dispensaries. One in New Jersey, all the dispensaries that are open right now are all net MSOs, right? I think people are ready to see somebody from here, right? Like some homegrown, like some people that they actually know. I think really leaning into the community is one of the things that sets me apart. And so, for example, like we have a partnership with the New Jersey Reentry Corporation. We're making sure that we're hiring people that have, people that are returning citizens, and actually we're donating money back to there. We're hiring people local. But one of the things that's really setting us apart that's going to be super dope is technology. Like ours is like our dispensary trying to be really futuristic, like the design being dope, like giving people ways to access it, but also at the same time still making it comfortable. Like, see, I'm knowledgeable about I wanted to be a place where like my dad is 72, my mom that are like, that's in their 60s because they love weed too, right? I wanted to be comfortable for them. But like people that are like the cutting edge stuff, like dope stuff, I wanted to be for that too. But also like it's welcoming for like a, black woman, like, what I'm saying? It feels comfortable, a place that a black woman could come in and feel at home, right? Not just like it's, not like a doctor's office or like just, corporate, but it still feels like kind of cool and vibey, That's kind of, I think I'm hopefully like people will believe in that, right? That people want to see dope people and they want to experience, and that like that's going to set us apart. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it. All right, my time is up, but appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Y'all give it up for Tahir.
Yo.